we're calling our leads. If they feel like they're just a number, you're not going to get anything. They need to feel some kind of connection. So I always try to tell people, even though I may have never been to North Dakota or South Dakota, I try to find something in that area. I'm like, okay, so hey, what is it like? I'm from Alabama. I'm a country girl, or if I get people in California and I'll be like, yeah, I'm from LA. And they're like, well, you don't sound like you're from LA. I say, you're right. I'm from Lower Alabama. So, so you got to find something that's going to get people to connect with you.
Yep.
And a lot of times people connect more when they're talking about themselves.
Welcome to the next level. Got a special guest today, Natalie Green. How are we doing, Natalie?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you all for inviting me.
I'm excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today because we are a lead-based company. Okay. A lot of companies are not, right? And I will be the first to tell you that I don't think selling life insurance with no leads is a good idea. No. Right. But I do think that every sale shouldn't come from a lead.
Exactly.
And we didn't have, not to be the old guy who walked to school barefoot uphill both ways, but I mean, I'll be 40 this year. I don't sell policies anymore. But before we started FFL, we're talking over 10 years ago, we were out in the field and we didn't have the amount of leads that everyone has at their,
fingertips.
Literally at their fingertips nowadays. I mean, there's any type of lead you want, right? They're there. Old leads, new leads, direct mail, internet, IUL leads. Now, like we had mortgage leads, and then they came out with final expense.
Okay.
That was it. And then the final expense leads were so awesome, Natalie. They said free on them like 20 times. They literally you can't buy the leads we used because they're not compliant. I don't know where we got them from. It was at another company, but it literally said, this is a free government program to take care of your final expenses. There's benefits you don't know about. And this is when everyone, discovered that Social Security gives you like $250 if you die.
If you die.
So they use that in the lead to kind of hook them. And then here we are. You filled it out for that. And I'm going, but now you should buy life insurance. You're like, Mike, I don't have a job and I have no money. I just wanted the free $250. You're like, yeah, well, you get that anyways. What's going to happen when you die? You're like, I don't care. I'm almost homeless.
Yeah,
like,
I don't care.
So it was different. Nowadays, there's leads everywhere.
It's everywhere.
But you were saying before we got on, at least 15% of your business is warm market and referrals.
At least.
To this day.
To this day.
And you are on pace to hit Hall of Fame. So it's not like you're just selling a little bit, to your friends and family. You're still buying leads, right?
I still buy leads.
What do you get for leads? What type of leads are your kind of go-to?
I've mainly been final expense.
Okay.
But I'm now tapping into more the IULs, and I just did my first annuity.
Oh, so nice.
That's exciting.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
And we found out on True Talk, you just qualified for Cancun, so congratulations there.
Thank you again.
So final expense, getting into IULs. But today I want to talk about the warm market, the referrals, because if you do this business right, every week you should be writing a couple referrals.
You should.
And writing some warm market. When I first started, all I wrote for my first month was warm market, because I did not come from sales. I came from construction.
Okay.
I was not good at it.
Okay.
But I could talk to people I knew.
Talk to people you knew.
So I made my money there, then started buying leads. But when we would recruit someone back then, we would challenge them. I'd bring you in and go, hey, Natalie, before I give you leads, I need to see you help at least 3 people that you know.
And that's what a lot of my recruits are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it tells you a lot. It tells me a lot about you, because I go, if you don't know 3 people that trust you enough to protect their family,
then something's not right.
Something ain't right with you.
Exactly.
Right? I'm not saying bring in me a list of 200, like you've worked at these companies, bring me 200 names and we're going to, I'm not saying that. But if you come to work with us, you don't know 3 people.
Then you can get properly insured.
Correct.
Yes.
Either you don't believe in the product enough, or you're not a trustworthy person.
And I don't need you on my team anyway.
Exactly, right? So you've always sold. Now, you came from a company where you all sold warm market.
Yes.
I know your mom was licensed when you were a kid. Did she also sell warm market?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
She sold was warm market.
So you kind of have an advantage
there.
there.
Was not,
but
my mom's 75. There was no
leads.
Yeah. Back then,
No, they didn't have IUL leads back then? No. Direct transfer and all that stuff?
None of that.
No.
None of that.
But you're still doing warm market. So,
I still do warm markets because you know, your friends and families, they still need help, and they could be in a product that is not, that good for them. So why would you not want to help the people that you care about?
Correct.
And you know.
Yep. Now, how does that, before we get into referrals, how does that warm market process look? Because I do believe some people don't know how to talk to their warm market. Like, if you're trained on leads, you know how to deal with the lead.
Yes.
Like, I'm probably the worst person to take telemarketing calls now because I was brought up in sales and lead based.
Gotcha.
So when someone calls me and they're like, hey, I'm like, dude, I didn't ask you for anything. So I don't owe you anything. Like, some guy called me the other day and I forget what I said. I probably can't repeat it here, but he goes, that's not fair. I go, fair? Bro, did I ask you to call me?
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about fair. You're cold calling me.
You're cold calling. So.
I didn't fill out anything. Yeah. I'm not your friend either, so it ain't a warm market call. Don't talk to me about fair.
Yeah.
But talk to me about how you're approaching your warm market, what that conversation looks like.
You know, with my warm market, basically they're friends and family. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm letting them know I'm in the industry and I would love to see if I can help them possibly save some money or get a better product if they already have one. And if they don't have one, you know, I let them know, listen, personally, I just went through cancer. Mm-hmm. You never know. Life can happen.
Correct.
You're going to die one day. We need to make sure we're properly insured. So if you don't have any, let me have a few minutes of your time to go over some options with you. And most of the time, they're going to tell you yes. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of people are just scared of rejection with their warm market or thinking that they may be offending someone.
Right.
But you would be surprised that most of your warm market, they want to help you.
Right.
And even if they have something, they probably will get rid of it just to help you.
Absolutely.
You know, so don't not talk to them because you may be afraid of rejection, you know.
Yeah.
And as long as we can put people in a better situation, even if it is additional coverage, even if they kept what they have and just wanted more coverage, that's still putting them and their family in a better situation. Absolutely. You know. So I think a lot of people, it's their own mind why they don't talk to their warm market.
100%. Because it's, I mean, they struggle with that. When you're meeting with clients, right? The rejection, that's cripples people sometimes. Mm-hmm. So with someone you know, it's almost like it's even worse.
Yes.
And I don't want to offend them. But I feel like if you have that mentality, you're selfish because you're only worried about yourself.
Yeah.
You're thinking about how am I going to feel?
Mm-hmm.
When your friends and family around you may not have any coverage.
May not have any.
Or to your point, may have something that's not the best policy. And by law, from a replacement standpoint, you can't put someone in a worse product, right?
No.
Like, so that can remove that fear, right? Hey, so I'm gonna look at your stuff, what you have, Natalie, but by law, my license won't allow me to put you in a worse situation. If I improve your situation, I can do it. If not, I won't be able to.
And I even let them know, even if you tell me no, this is not going to affect our friendship. This is not going to affect anything. I just want to see if I can help you. I've helped a ton of families. And I do want to help the people that I care about and love the most, you know.
And I think, not to speak for you, but I know how much you believe in life insurance because of how you were raised, things you've gone through. I would almost say if you're not helping your warm family, you need to ask yourself, do you really believe in this?
Yes.
Because why would you know it's going to help this individual, right? So if I know I have something that can help you and you're a friend or a family member of mine, why wouldn't I offer it to you?
Why wouldn't I do that? Yeah, why wouldn't I?
You know? You're having a big cookout, you invite everybody, right? You're no problem doing that.
No problem.
Pressure. I mean, you got to be there, Natalie. Everyone's going to be. You're no problem doing that.
No problem. But what's even more sad is when you don't choose to talk to them and then you see their family may have a loss and they're selling, you know, plates and, you know, trying
Pasta
to come together.
And
it's like, you know, each day matters.
Yeah.
And we cannot let it go by. So, yes, I talk to people I know, people that know somebody, you know, and that's it's just a constant gateway, you know.
Now, if you approach 10 family members, like you just laid out here, how many of them would say, yes, let's meet?
For me, my uncle tells you I can sell ice to Eskimo. That's what my Uncle Jojo would tell you. But, you know, all of my family, they know that I'm not going to tell them something that I don't believe in and something that I don't have myself. So I'm not trying to sell you life insurance and I ain't got no policy.
Right.
Or I'm not trying to sell you, I have it. So I believe in it, I have it, So everybody is going to either tell me yes or they're going to give me a referral.
Okay.
They're going to give me something. And a lot of times my family, they open me up to their coworkers or to their sororities or to their different things that they're in, and they let me know,
Yeah.
churches, So
Absolutely.
it's a constant. You can never reach your warm market. If you just put a little extra effort, you won't be able to reach it, because it's always somebody that's going to give you somebody else. It's going to continue.
Do you fear rejection?
No.
Why?
I don't fear rejection because it's like it's going to happen, So either they're telling me no because they may not understand me, or it may not be because they don't like me or they don't want to. They may not have enough information at that time to make the right decision, or it may not be the right decision for them. So just because somebody tells me no, financially it may not be right for them. This may not be the right product. Whatever it is, I don't worry about those factors because guess what? Some will, some won't. Next.
Exactly.
And that's just how I've always been.
And as you start recruiting more, I hope you take that same mentality. Like, if I asked you to join my business and you tell me no, that's a success.
That's a success.
If you tell me yes, that's also a success. One doesn't outweigh. I'm just checking interest. Because if you don't want to be in life, I don't want you on my team.
Exactly.
But we see the same thing there where I don't want to ask this person because what if they say no? You'll be in the same spot you're in right now. You just would have someone tell you no. Why does that bother you?
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
It should not bother you.
Like now I understand in the beginning why it does, but when you really take a step back, and who cares?
Who cares?
It just wasn't meant to be at that time.
And I guess I've been in the commission-based industry dealing with rejection for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just try to tell people, like, you can't dwell on that.
Right.
You're going to miss what's right in front of you because you're dwelling on the rejection that you got 3 days ago.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to let that go.
Right.
You got to let it go.
My worst day in the field ever, I went 0 for 10. And this was after I'd been selling for like 3-4 months. So it wasn't like I was brand new. Mm-hmm. I was riding the highs. I was doing well, and I'm just so great now. I would close everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And then had one I didn't close. And because I was riding that high so much, that rejection impacted me. And I carry that into every appointment that day. And one day I sat with 10 people. I was like hoping to have a no-show because I'm like, it was atrocious. But it was me.
It was you.
And that's one of the things I think I like about this business the most is your success or lack thereof falls on you.
It falls on you.
Right? I mean, you've been in this business for a long time.
It does.
It's on you.
It's on you. And I even joke with my team and different people in the office. I'm like, let it go. I sing it. I mean, that's what I did at the conference. I'm like, let it go. I'm singing the Disney, So,
good old Elsa.
Yeah, good old Elsa. And I mean, seriously, let it go. And that is what I live by,
Yeah. Referrals is a whole nother piece because referrals is how you can maximize your ROI on leads.
Yes.
So if I buy a lead, I meet with you, whatever. I go to your house, we do virtual, whatever we do, I've helped you. But same thing I'm saying about the agent knows 3 or 4 people. Well, the client probably knows 3 or 4 people.
Yes.
That also need life insurance, that are also about the same age. Like most people's friends are about the same age, in about the same situation, right? So you get a lot of referrals too.
I get a lot of referrals. And how I open up to the referrals, especially if it's someone elderly and they're like, oh, I got to think about it. I need to talk to my daughter.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Because when the people call for my mama, she tell them the same thing.
Right.
They got to call me. So
yep.
I get it. So I tell them, I'm like, hey, give your daughter my number. Please tell her to call me. I want her to ask questions. I want to build that rapport with the family that, like, I'm here for the family. I'm not trying to do anything to harm you or hurt you. Mm-hmm. So, a couple of weeks ago, from one lead that I bought, I ended up doing $12,000 because the daughter called to verify what the mama had done. I gave her my sales. She called.
So you already helped the mom.
I already helped the mom.
Yep.
Then the daughter called. She was like, I just want to, make sure what mama has. Great. The mom had already told me, please, my daughter's going to be calling. Then talk to the daughter. The daughter didn't have any insurance. She says, I need some. She got insurance. And then, I asked her, I said, hey, do you have any other family members and friends? I would love to be able to be y'all's insurance lady because, I'm country. So I'm like, hey, I'm your insurance lady.
And you ask every client that?
I ask every client that, every client. Then she ended up giving her cousin my number. Cousin called. The cousin got herself. The 2 sons got his. Then in that family, I ended up getting $12,000 from one lead that I paid for.
That's awesome.
So, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Right.
And even when I tell them to call me back or message me when they get their policy, because I also send thank you cards. But when I follow back up with them, I ask again, because they be, I got this person. So it doesn't hurt,
No.
Just an extra maybe 2 or 3 minutes of your time,
Right.
Could lead into so much more business.
And what's that appointment look like when you're meeting with a referral? Like, how do you approach that? Because that's the other thing. When people are stuck doing things one way, they know how to do a lead-based sale, right? But I think some of them are hesitant to ask for referrals because they don't even know how to handle it.
So it just depends. It varies. Sometimes the leads that they give me, I ask them to, hey, if you're putting your daughter or giving me your daughter or son's information, hey, do you mind letting them know that I'm going to be calling? So a lot of times they will preface it and warm them up for me,
Got it.
But then if they don't warm them up and I let them know, most of the time their children is the beneficiary. Hey, your mom wanted me to call you. You're the beneficiary on her policy, but she also wanted me to follow up with you because I want to extend, maybe, the benefits to you to see if there's options for you that you may not have. And a lot of times they'll get the insurance,
Yeah.
But then if they don't have anything, they'll refer me to somebody else, So it's just asking.
Right.
It doesn't hurt to
Correct.
ask, But the biggest step is I also call whoever is going to be the beneficiaries. I definitely start with those first.
Yeah.
If you need something that's like, a script to go by. If you're putting
Right.
the beneficiary down, if it's going to be the brother or the child or the uncle, if they're of age, it's good to follow up and let them know, hey, such and such put you down as a beneficiary, but they also told me that you possibly may need some insurance as well. Even if you have any, I'm a broker. I would love to see what you have and compare and see if I can get you, in a better position for the same money you're already spending. Who don't want something more than what they're already spending, So
Yeah.
everybody, if you look at it as more of a help base, it would open up, and they will open up more with you if you're trying to help them.
And I love that, the beneficiary. That means every appointment, every person you write, you have at least one referral.
At least one referral.
Now, sometimes they split it up, but you have it. If they give you have at least one referral right there.
Right there.
And you lead the call, like you said, with, I'm calling you to let you know your mother put you down as a beneficiary.
Yes.
And then you're like selling the product before you even ask them. Let me tell you what she's got. She's got this awesome $25,000 final expense policy, covers her till the day she dies. Price never goes up, right? Do you have anything like that?
And a lot of times they're going to say no.
They say no.
And then even if they say, oh, I have some on the job,
Yep.
or, the great thing is this is something that's going to be with you forever, you're going to retire off the job one day.
Right.
And you don't want to wait until, you may not even qualify for insurance, So, that approach, and if their mother trusted you, it makes them open up and want to trust you.
Correct.
Yeah.
We used to do this. We call it the emergency response system.
Okay.
So I would sit down with you. I'd help you out, write your policy, and kind of like the beneficiary. But I would say, Natalie, God forbid something happens to you. Let's say you put your daughter as your beneficiary. Your daughter's going to be emotional. She's going to be going through a lot. Yes, she's a beneficiary, but I'm going to give you a piece of paper. Write down 5 names of people you want to have on this emergency response program.
Oh, I like that.
That they could also call me about this, just in case your daughter is.
I'm
there you go. Well, use it and tell me how many referrals you get.
I do like that.
But we used to do this, and what do they do? Oh, my sister, my brother, this one, that one, and then I go, all right, and I've heard people do this. Put them in a text group. Hey, I'm going to put them in a text group right now with you, and let them know I'm the insurance guy.
I like that.
Right, and then I'm going to call them up. We used to just call them up. So I'd call you up. Hey, Natalie, I met with your mom or met with your sister last week. Put some policies in place for her. Wanted to let you know she put you down as emergency contact.
Okay.
God forbid something happens to her, you can call me and we can start the death claim.
I like that.
Okay. When you got your life insurance, did anyone do that for you? What do most of them say?
No.
No, or I don't even have life insurance.
Exactly.
And there you go.
And there you go.
So it's like if you don't feel comfortable just asking flat out for a referral, you can do that.
You can do it that way.
And just keep track of the
There are ways, but I think a lot of people just, they got that lead, they got that sale, and they're done. But if you really, really want to make your income grow drastically, you pay for that lead. Why not make it even better by asking for referrals that you didn't have to pay for?
It's not like we're selling. I'm not selling steak knives or vacuum cleaner. Like, you need a vacuum cleaner. Like, dude, I have hardwood floors. What are we talking about, right? Like, I don't need Tupperware. We eat out all the time. Like, there's so many products out there that are unnecessary. Right? They're a luxury, right? Get this awesome $1,000 vacuum. It's great. Yeah, but if I don't have that, I have the one from Walmart that's $50. It's fine, right? Yes. But if you don't have life insurance, you're screwed. 100%.
And there's so many people and that everybody knows that pass and they don't have it.
Yeah.
They
absolutely.
don't have it. And it's not just for adults. Everybody needs to have this. Correct. You don't know when your time is going to come, or the age you are. So,
And just never prejudge. It's funny, you talk about this client you had that you ended up selling $12,000 in premium off the referrals. I had this one client. It was in Hartford, Connecticut. This was probably, we're in 25. It's probably 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. Final expense lead. I walk in. Gail was her name. I love Gail. She's awesome. She's probably 70 at the time. She's retired. When I walk in, it's like Hoarders Central. There's shit everywhere.
Goodness.
She's got this big-ass fish tank, this big TV on the entertainment stand that has been there for like 10 years. Boxes upon boxes of stuff. You know what she's doing when I walk in? She's watching the Home Shopping Network.
And buying stuff.
Buying shit.
And I already got a ton of stuff.
Already got everything. And then so we sit down and she's like, one of those clients where I told you on the phone, I already have insurance. Which one is this? And I'm like, it wasn't FLs, whatever. I let her know and I sit down. I'm like, well, why don't you grab the policies you have? She's like, all of them? Like, yeah. She brings out this stack.
She got that many.
She got everything that they sell on TV, everything that they put in the mail, she's bought.
Wow.
But as we start digging through it, she has like maybe 2 or 3 actual life insurance policies. A lot of them are that accidental death and dismemberment crap. And even the ones she had, I'm like, how old are you? This one ends in like 3 years. This one, the price is going up next year, actually.
Oh, wow.
And this one expired 2 years ago. She's like, oh my God. So I write her a real final expense policy, and then she's like, oh, I know a lot of people that, and everyone says this, right? I'm like, okay. So I know a lot of people that need this. No lie, it was like every month.
You were getting a referral.
I would get a referral from her. I probably helped like 12 to 15 family members and friends of hers in the East Hartford area.
That's awesome.
Yep. Just by this one lady who told me she didn't need it on the phone. Showed up, and I'm like, what am I walking into, right? And I'm thinking, like, I'd been in the business long enough to know not to prejudge clients, but I'm thinking, like,
but we still have that little thought.
Yeah, like, is she really going to be able to afford a policy right now? She's on Social Security. And I end up saving her money by canceling all the crap she
didn't need.
Gave her a real policy.
Her what she needed.
I wrote her, I don't think they were married, but her partner at the time. He ended up passing like 3 years later, covered the whole funeral, and then she gave me more referrals.
Even then, because, yeah.
But I just asked. Like, I asked her, like, other people around? Yeah. And everyone says yes. Like, I'll send you some. And I wasn't great at getting, I just asked. And then next, she'd call me all the time. Mike, you got to call this one. You got to call this one.
Yes.
And then she'd call them. Mike's going to call you. Better get life insurance.
Yes. And that's how it has to be. I always try to start with the beneficiary. Mm-hmm. But then once I do call, I still try to get even from that client 2 or 3 other names.
Why not?
Hey, I helped you. Is there anybody else that you feel that I could possibly help? I'm not, if they tell me no, I let them know. They'll be like, you're not going to be calling them all the time. I let them know. No, I'm not like that. So I'll call them. But if they don't have any interest, that's it,
Right.
So you don't have to worry about, losing a friend because they think they're on a list. They're not on any list. This is me just personally giving them a phone call, and that's it. So
there's so many ways to do it. But I think it goes back to what you said. It's that fear of rejection that cripples people.
It's that.
The fear of being judged. Like, I don't want, them to think I'm harassing their friend. Dude, you just call and ask them. You're not going to help all of them.
You're not going to help everybody.
And that's okay, right? You get referrals, you call, and sometimes you don't meet with them.
No, yeah.
Right?
That's so true.
It's
okay. But the ones that you do help, then they're going to be a sound box for you because they're going to go and tell that friend and then that. So it's just a domino effect, but you got to get over that first rejection.
Absolutely. And I think that in life in general, a lot of times we all have problems. We all have shit we deal with. But a lot of times we're focused on the wrong solution, right? We're looking for something else. And the answer with referrals to me is just, do you believe in the product enough? Yeah. Do you actually care about people? It's not what you're saying, I say it just like Natalie does, I don't get referrals. It's because you don't believe in it. It's
because you don't believe in it.
You got to believe in life.
You got to. And people have to feel that, especially when we're doing, we're calling our leads. If they feel like they're just a number, you're not going to get anything.
Correct.
They have to feel that you actually, are a distant relative maybe or whatever. They need to feel some kind of connection. So I always try to tell people, even though I may have never been to North Dakota or South Dakota, I try to find something in that area. I'm like, okay, so hey, what is it like? I'm from Alabama. I'm a country girl, or if I get people in California and I'll be like, yeah, I'm from LA. And they're like, well, you don't sound like you're from LA. I say, you're right. I'm from Lower Alabama. So, so you got to find something that's going to get people to connect with you.
Yep.
And a lot of times people connect more when they're talking about themselves or their area.
Absolutely.
So if you get them talking about themselves, that's going to buy you a little bit more time to build a little bit more connection. And then once they start talking to you, they like you, then they're going to even listen to you even more.
Right.
So
absolutely. So far this year, where are your numbers here? You're over 100K. It's 120, I believe, and you don't know your numbers, right? Like that's not.
I know this is bad, y'all. I know this is bad. I honestly just help families. I don't be paying the bonus. I mean, I know that they're deposited, but like I'm not nitpicking it to a T and things of that nature because you guys are, I don't know, multi-million-dollar company. You're not trying to mess up my
right. Yeah, we're not trying to steal your commission on one policy here. Like,
so people be like, "Oh, you're doing so great," and I'm like, honestly, I know I need to be better with it, but my goal is just to help families, and I know the money will come.
Yeah,
and that's it. And I know the sales will come.
Right. Well, you've sold 120,000 through 3 weeks into March. So
thank you.
There you have it. So you didn't know, but now you know.
Now I know.
But that's on track for Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And the reason I say that is what you're talking about is working, or you wouldn't have sold that much. Yes. How much do you know how much you sold last year?
Well, I started August 20th, and I think I ended the year maybe at 150.
Okay.
Maybe.
Looks like I have you at you're 144,000. So you're better than you you say with your numbers. 144.
And listen here, if I had known that there was an award for 200K, I promise you I would have.
I bet
I would have started a little bit sooner, but I didn't know that, But I was, still doing my radiation and other stuff. But I was happy. Even though I didn't get an award, I was so happy to see all of the people. And I'm like, it gave me something to look forward to. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's going to be me.
Yeah, what was it about the event? I want to get back to the production, but you had been with us for 4 or 5 months, right? Well, actually, what made you even go to the event?
I was going anyway.
You were?
Even before I knew that. I mean, I know that at the convention, there are people that are doing amazing things, and I was going to hear from amazing speakers.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going when I signed up in August.
Okay.
I think I'd already had my ticket and everything.
Really?
I'm quite sure.
Because Matt and these guys talked to you about it? Or
Matt and Jared, yeah. They were like, you got to be at the convention. So I had went ahead and I even reserved other hotel rooms in hopes of me having some other agents come in. So my mom always says, if you believe in something, you got to step out on faith and just do it, So I knew I was going. But then even after, Sean had asked me to speak, I was like, me? I've only been with the company, a couple of months.
Yeah.
So that was even more humbling. But I was going regardless to the convention.
Okay.
I was going regardless.
What was I'm sure there's a lot. It's a 3-day event. But what was the biggest thing you learned or the biggest takeaway from that event?
The biggest takeaway from me was seeing, I think her name is it Bill Ha? like, I think she did like $1 million with like basically no lead calls. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm behind the 8 ball, you
Right,
know?
right, right.
You know, so, but the biggest thing that I took away was like, in every bracket that I want to go in, whether it's IUL, whether it's annuities, everybody was so helpful. I went up to, I think it's Depot, and just several people were giving me their numbers, telling me I'm here. Even though I'm not in their, I guess, do we call it hierarchy or base?
Yeah, their agency, yeah.
Even though I'm not in their agency, it really does feel like a family.
Yeah.
And that is crazy to me because I've been with other companies, and if you're not like in their agency,
right,
they ain't trying to help you.
No, it's real clicky.
It's like, so to have, all of these different, I have so many numbers, I don't have my cell phone on me, for people that, they don't know me. They gave me their personal numbers and told me, anytime you need, if you want to learn how to do IULs, if you want to learn how to do annuities, call me. I'll talk you through. So that was a huge takeaway for me because I'm like, the motto that is built, it stands by its name. It truly is a family atmosphere. Right. And it doesn't matter who brought you in. Everybody's willing to help. So I truly love that. That was the biggest thing that I take away from it.
Love it. One big team.
Yeah, one big team.
And I like that you said that. Like, when we created the company, the name, it wasn't just like, oh, this is going to sound cool, when we say it in videos and stuff. It really was. Like, the mentality was if I put the families of the agents first, I'm going to win as a producer, right? Like, when I go out and I meet with you and your mom and I don't want to say convince, but I show you why you need to buy life insurance. I put your mother in a better place than she is.
Yes.
When I met her, I am putting your family first.
You are. And
then when we created the company, when we looked at the compensation that was available, like, we didn't create high comp. It was there. My opinion is the other companies are just greedy.
They just want to keep
more. They could give you the same comp. So if you're working at an IMO, and they're probably going to hate that I say this, and you don't have 145% comp, they can give you that. They choose not to.
They choose not to.
Our thing was, well, how do we put the agents' families first? Well, we give them the highest comp we can possibly give out and still survive as a company. We bonus them. People, you change the bonus a lot of times. Yeah, because we bonus too much in the past.
Yeah.
Not that the agents were making too much. We were paying out too much to where it was outpacing our commissions. Like, we literally got calls from corporate, like, hey, y'all need to do something because you're going to be out of business in like a year if you keep
doing what you're doing.
So we got a year left, But in order to put the agent first, we did those things. And that's why the name is not just a brand, a slogan. It's what we live by.
It's what you live by.
100%.
And I felt it. And I've only been with the company 7 months or whatever. And I felt it. I mean, it was amazing.
Now, getting back to the numbers. Last year, just under 150 in 5 months. You're less than 3 months in, and you're at 120, right about the same. What did you change? How are you doing so much more now?
Well, I'm not going to the doctor as much.
Okay.
So, I'm there. My
office,
time. They laugh at me. I'm the first one there, and I'm sometimes don't leave out of there to 7 or 8 o'clock, because when I do finish up with my leads, I'm following back up with my warm market and other things. So I'm there. I'm grinding. Yeah. I was at home, sick for a while. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not trying to make up time, but I know.
Well, you had no choice. Like, it's not like you were sitting around hanging out. Exactly. You were going through radiation and surgeries. And how many surgeries did you have?
Last year, 2.
2 surgeries.
And then the hyperbaric chamber. And
that was for a few months, right?
That was for a few months.
And that was 3 hours a day?
3 hours a day.
5 days a week?
5 days a week.
What time would you go in?
I would go in, I would typically try to get there around like 9.
Okay.
9:30 to be done by like 1.
But it's a good chunk of your day, though, where now you're selling in that time.
It's a whole chunk of my day.
So you still, going through all that last year, in 5 months, put up about $150,000.
Yes.
And now you're like, I don't have those things.
I don't have those things. No.
How's that feel?
It feels great.
Yeah.
It's going to feel even better when I get my new set of girls, but it does feel great. And, I'm thankful for the support system and my family being there. Matt, Jared, everybody was super helpful. Yeah. Even, when I did come to the office late, nobody said anything because they knew what I was doing, what I was going through, So but it feels amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's fun to watch. I can't wait to see you at convention getting your red jacket.
Thank you.
And it's just an awesome story. And you got a lot more of this story to tell, you know. And for me, I have 4 kids, and knowing like the example you're setting for your daughter and your granddaughter by what you're doing, you can't put a price tag on that.
I appreciate that.
Because you can tell them what to do till you're blue in the face, but that don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because they're watching you.
They are. And my granddaughter, she calls me Lolly.
Yeah.
You know, she was my buddy when I would be at home. She would come read to me, and you know, we watch our, you know, Elsa and our shows. But yeah, that's my buddy right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what it's all about. But I appreciate you, Natalie, coming up doing this. Look forward to giving you this Hall of Fame jacket in January of next year. So, and
it's around my birthday.
Is it? When's your birthday?
January 28th.
Really?
Yes. So I was here celebrating that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love the fact. I know y'all set that up for me.
Absolutely. Day one's your birthday. Look at that. 28th.
Are you serious?
Yes, 28th through the 31st. Awesome. So that Wednesday when we do the carrier meet and greet, that'll be your birthday.
That'll be my birthday.
So yeah, come to Irving, Texas for Natalie's big birthday
party. Yes, big party
at the Irving Convention Center. And you'll get to go to convention too.
Exactly.
But, yes, but it's a 3-day event. It's awesome. I mean, I've been at conventions now 15 years and from the other company to here, I've been at a convention every single year, at least one. I'm back. Some of these companies, you go to like 3 or 4 a year.
Yeah.
But even me, I'm behind the scenes, but I get so much out of it. It's hard to even put into words what it does for you, you know, for your business. It's like whatever you're missing, you'll find it.
You'll find it. And I know
it'll be where you least expect it sometimes.
Least expected.
Mm-hmm.
Least expected. You know, don't just think about it as, it's just a convention. No. It's you're gonna pick up something.
Right. And it's that reset. It's that event. Like that's what for us kicks off the year.
Kicks it off.
Like, that's why sometimes it's so hard to find a spot because it has to be that week for us. They're like, well, can you do a little bit later? Like, you don't understand. This is like January 1st for us.
Exactly.
Right? Like this is the reset this is technically the end of the last year and the beginning of the beginning
of this year.
100%. It's a reset. It's a celebration of the year before. And I love that you talked about all the people that reached out to help you. Like you don't have to be a top producer for someone to want to help you.
No.
And they're so accessible at these events.
Yeah, and because I wasn't a top, they don't know.
Yeah, you were new.
I was new. They didn't know who I was. I mean, I just walked up to them, said, I really, really enjoyed what you said, and it resonated with me. Hey, give me their numbers.
Here,
just like
call
that.
me whenever you want.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, thanks again. Thanks for everything you do. Guys, thanks for checking us out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with all your agents. Go to fflconvention.com now while tickets still last. It will sell out. We sell out every year. Now, in the past, we only had, the front seats for purchase, but now we got the whole spot, and it will sell out again. And we're gonna try to be at this convention center until we outgrow it, which we probably got a couple years, and then we're gonna be too big.
Then it's gonna be too big.
Absolutely.
Well, get those tickets.
Get them now. Thanks again, guys. Thanks for checking us out. You know where to find us every week right here on The Next Level. We'll see you next week.